So
Okay,
I,
we're
mhm.
back on.
Recording in progress.
So I would do things for him. I would take care of the car. I would wash it. I would put the snow chains on in the winter when we were still doing that before snow tires. I would wash and wax the cars. I would take them for service. I would do things around the house, take care of the yard whenever I could. So, so I tried to make it so there was as little he could complain about to me or point out to me as a reason perhaps why he should hesitate doing something for me. And that was just my way. I just never did that. My sister was quite different. My sister and he would get into real screaming matches occasionally. And I could hear that and I just thought that's not the way I wanted to approach it.
Ardith, can can you explain this to me a little bit? You saw it. What are the mechanisms that you think Bill was utilizing to avoid conflict? And what did they look like at that point in his life from your perspective?
Well, it's just as he says. In order to get what he wanted, he was smart enough to know that conflict wasn't the way. So he learned early on that conflict isn't the way to do it. And I think because his learning years, his early years, taught him that, it continued in his life. He doesn't do well with conflict, even though we occasionally have conflict. And he's learned to change that with me, but not generally with other people. He won't
Uh-huh.
stir the pot.
Are you telling me that you think that because he had to manage his father gingerly, that that trained him to not use conflict in interpersonal discussions or relations in business?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, Bill, what
There,
is the downside?
there are other examples, David, now that I think about it. I've told you before that I considered myself kind of a shy kid, risk averse. I was bullied occasionally. You know, I was one of the smart ones in the class, and so I was occasionally targeted. Um, I pretty much just tried to avoid people like that. I occasionally, one or two of my friends said, "Why don't you just punch him in the nose?" Said, you know, that would end it. He backed down, and I just never wanted to do that. I've only had one fight as a kid that I can remember with a friend of mine who got really angry and got into it once, but we got over that in about 15 minutes, and I've never hit anyone. And so I've sort of been developing skills of avoidance of conflict in a number of different settings. It wasn't only with my father; it was also with others who wanted to pick a fight with me or wanted to take advantage of me. So I would find ways to avoid them and get around it.
What would be your coaching to somebody who doesn't understand avoiding conflict? Did you ever have a conversation with somebody that you saw using conflict and you sat them down and said, let's talk a little bit about this and help you develop some other mechanisms?
Not quite that way. I've had a few people come into my office. One I remember particularly at the health department came in very angry, shouting and yelling at something that had happened to him. And I just sat him down and talked him through it and said, you know, I understand why you're angry. Why don't we find a way to deal with it that doesn't involve shouting? And once I talked him down, sat down and talked it out, then we were able to figure out what we were going to do next to resolve that situation.
Okay, we have a reset here.
Recording stopped.